Hello, this is chapter 108 of The Flower of Freedom by Deborah J. Reeves. We're so happy you've returned for the story, and if it's your first time, the rules are simple. Leave your burdens and troubles outside the door. You don't need them right now. Not for this 8 minutes or so anyway. So please come in, find your seat. Your burdens just won't fit inside that chair. And then rest. We'll try to entertain you for about 8 minutes. Here we go, chapter 108, Christmas times 2. They ran through the cold to get to the front door, and Colette met them with hugs for all. "Where are you hiding them, Mama?" pouted Marie. "I'm not hiding them, honey. Just keeping them out of the draft. They're right over there on their best behavior. They've been waiting to meet their sister." Marie followed Colette through the foyer and into the living room, where there was a roaring fire, and there were two handsome fellows sitting in little reclining seats on the couch. Colette went to pick up one and said, "Hey, Desi, this is your sister, Marie." Marie, who had been rubbing her hands to ensure that they would not be cold to the touch, came forward in wonder, and she looked at him and reached out to hold him. "Hello, little man. I will be your sister. I'm so glad you've come into this beautiful world to share our lives." Desi looked at her in the face, and he squinted. He looked harder, and he blew a little bubble with his lips, and then he promptly fell asleep. Marie looked at Colette, who said, "Here, I'll take him. I have someone else to introduce you to." Marie took little Oscar from her mother's arms and said, "Hey there, baby brother. I'm your sister Marie. This is one great big beautiful world, and I'm thrilled that you're here to share it with us." Baby Oscar seemed less than impressed. He squinted, frowned, and promptly filled his pants. Then he started to cry, and Oscar came forward and took him. The baby immediately stopped crying, and Oscar handed him to Colette for fumigation. "I told you they'd like me better," Bertie joked, but somehow it did not feel funny to Marie. Philippe changed the subject, and he took a key over to see a sleeping Desi. The new house felt like home for Christmas, and Marie was surprised that it did. The pot-bellied tree stood in the corner of the living room with Papa's toque in place of the star as usual. The fireplace glowed throughout the season. Mama had baked all the normal favorites, or at least it seemed as though she had, until she confessed that Michelle and Fan and some of her other lady friends had borrowed the recipes, and they made batches for Colette too. A few days after Aki and Marie arrived, Oscar, Bertie, and Philippe went to collect Philippe's parents at the airport. Marie spent the time with her mother and the twins. The Depardieu family had arranged to spend Christmas with Philippe at the Chateau Frontenac in Quebec City, and they had invited Aki to join them. They had seen the chateau in photographs, and they were eager to experience the town. Aki told Oscar that his family, this was his family's very first Christmas in their new configuration and new home, a time of readjustment, and they needed to spend it together. He begged them not to be offended that he was going off with his friends. "Consider what I'm saying, Oscar. Marie will only see the children for a few days." The group planned to come back a few days before they were scheduled to fly back to Paris, he said, and they would spend time with them then. So the same day that Oscar collected the newcomers from the airport, they set out on the train for Quebec City. Quebec City is magical on its very worst day, when it is cloaked in a winter cape of snow velvet and sparkling stars on a snowy night. It is beyond words. It epitomizes the word peace, sighed Christine Depardieu. I will cherish this Christmas forever, she said as she saw her husband and son standing with a key looking over the walled city with the snow-covered evergreens all around. That same night, Philippe was walking with his mother down the 17th century main street with twinkling lights all around. He told his mother his most closely guarded secret. Alone in a crowd of strangers, she hugged her son, and a tear of joy slipped down her cheek. That vacation made them all feel like they were children again. The toboggan runs, the trek across the plains of Abraham, the horse-drawn carriage rides, the amazing food, all sang in their souls, and they made their own inner beauty more beautiful, their inner radiance more radiant. As cold as the weather sometimes was, the people they encountered were warmer. The caribou that they drank was a liquid warmer that put an even brighter glow on the proceedings. As they went under the stone arch at the entrance to the chateau, the horse driver told them that everyone was gearing up for the Carnaval de Quebec and the arrival of the bonhomme. He was sorry that they would not see it. The bonhomme is a snowman with an arrowhead sash around his waist, who brings joy to everyone in the midwinter. The festival is a yearly event started in the 1800s. It had to stop for the world wars and again for a while in the Depression. But it restarted about a decade ago, and we're making up for lost time. It captures the spirit of Quebec in a wonderful way. It reminds us all of who we really are. Colette and Oscar arranged for Father Joe to christen the babies while Marie and Aki were in the country. The christening gowns were things of beauty, but Oscar and Bertie decided that the matching lace caps were not sufficiently manly. They found little white baseball caps for the occasion, and on one they had a D embroidered in blue, and on the other there was an O in red. Colette and Marie laughed and went along with it. Philippe and his parents attended the christening, and they met all of the extended community from Dr. D's collection of people. Colette and Oscar had chosen the godmother and father with care. Marie would be Desi's godmother, and Dr. Donovan was his godfather. Bertie was little Oscar's godfather, and Fan was his godmother. Father Joe seemed to be the most joyous person at the event. Desi sputtered and flailed his arms out wide as he was sprinkled over the font, and little Oscar howled with indignation. That's the end of chapter 108, and as always, we're so delighted that you came. We hope that you'll come back for 109, which will be up shortly. It's called Second Term and Beyond. Please, if you're enjoying this, consider giving us a thumbs up. It helps others find us as well, and we're delighted to be sharing our story with all of you out there in the big, beautiful world. I remain your friend, Deborah. Bye.